NVDA earnings wants to drag this market higher. Bitcoin is struggling at that $70,000 mark. Bitfarms finally showing some of that performance we've been waiting for a little while. We're going to touch on a few other stocks and cryptos like Solana, possibly get into Dogecoin today. Let's get into it. So first of all, NVIDIA stock goes up 7% in the pre-market here. We're almost at market open here in about 10 minutes. It'll be there. It went up over $1,000. We've been saying that on this channel for a little while now, that it would go up for that $1,000 after that little dip that we were watching previously. And they announced a stock split. This is the part that excites me. They're doing a 10-for-1 stock split, meaning even if NVIDIA stays at $1,000 through this split, when it is done, NVIDIA will be $100. Why is that exciting for me? That is exciting for me, and it should be exciting for you for a very specific reason, and that is because of options premium, right? So this is the options chain. Right now you can see right here a put costs $5,000 and $352 for a 945 put. Now, I wouldn't want to buy those, I'd be selling them. But in order to sell it, I would need $94,500 to do it. After a 10-for-1 split, that turns into $9,450, which is a lot more affordable for me than $94,000 on a single contract. Catching me here? So that would be that, and then this premium would be about $500. Now this chain here that I'm looking at right now specifically is for about a month from now. So that is a 30-day premium. I could potentially, with $9,000, get $500 of premium every 30 days for selling a put on NVIDIA. Or conversely, I could buy 100 shares, sell it slightly out of the money, say 3-4 strikes out of the money, and still collect about $500 every month on NVIDIA with a $10,000 about-ish position. That is extremely exciting. And one of these days, I'm going to talk about this strategy in greater depth, because this is my after Bitcoin miners trade plan, is to do a wheel strategy using these stocks for premium farming. And we're going to talk about that, not today, but I'll do a whole video about it when things settle down just a little bit. When I catch up on some of the news and some of the other videos I want to do about the Bitcoin miners, we'll talk about that specifically, because that's my end game plan once the Bitcoin miners, once that trade is through. So let's go and look at Bitcoin today. Bitcoin got outside of the Bollinger Band. It came back down to the 5. It could launch off the 5. Seriously, on the daily here, it could absolutely launch off the 5. I don't see us coming all the way back down to the 50 and the 20, or is that the 13? Let me see if it's still saving the 13. It isn't. It's saving the 20 now. Great. Which are both sitting down at 64,931. So I really don't see Bitcoin getting back below 65,000 anytime soon unless something dire happens. We could trace back to the previous bull flag, which was back here between May 16 to May 19, and I would say it would be right at this 66,900 or $67,000 range for that. I think that would be the lowest I'd see it going, which also coincides with the top of this descending channel. So like see it pops up above the descending channel, comes back to test it, and then launches from there. That would be pretty cool as well. I think that would be a bit of a stronger launch than where we currently are at the 5 on Bitcoin. But this is all very bullish. This inverse head and shoulders I've been talking about for a while now finally played out and went all the way to the top of it, right? Top of the range. Look at how the tops of these candles here, this one specifically on May 20th and 21st, lines up ever so closely with April 8th and 9th, which was the previous top of that cycle there. So very close. It's quite nice, actually. It's really nice. Anyways, we're looking for that slight pullback and then launch again to take us to all-time highs once more. We'll see that's going to happen probably pretty soon. Bitfarms yesterday was up 9% in the pre-market. We're up a few more pennies here. We are now over that $2 mark. We can go a little bit higher on this inverse head and shoulders that we are looking at on Bitfarms right now before it starts really hitting resistance. But you can see $2 it wasn't much of a struggle, but look where it came to. This wick right to 211. I was saying it's going to maybe go to 211, 215, 2 whatever was it, 210ish to 226 was going to be pretty strong resistance, and you can see it went right into these two candles back here from April 23rd and 24th, right on the wick there. It got just to the very top of this red one here on the 24th, and then got rejected off of that. We're going to watch this very, very closely. It is kind of gunning for that space again here this morning. We'll take a look. I really want to see it hold over $2. I would love to see it hold over this red line here at 204 and push into this resistance all the way up to like 220s. That's really what I want to see out of Bitfarms right now. And I'm actually very excited to see these types of moves without them releasing any news about the CEO search, without them releasing any news about, new hash rate being online. Just imagine when those things come through, what kind of big old candles we're going to see on this one. So we're watching this real close. I'm very excited about this movement right now on that. Take a look at Bit Digital. What is going on with Bit Digital? Bit Digital is up 3 cents in the pre-market. Yesterday it was down 5%, which is fine. It went all the way up to the top of the range here, and it came down. It's cooling off. That's normal. That's not a big deal. Let's see where we are on the SMAs. Yeah, we're right down on the 200-day SMA, which is fine. We came above it. We're tapping it to test it from above. I want to see a candle that lives off of the 200-day moving average to really feel good about a move to around $3. We did come back inside the Bollinger Band here yesterday, and that gives us a little bit of breathing room. We might come back down to the 5-day moving average at 248 before we do any larger moves here, which would take us close to the center line of this ascending channel. Hopefully from there we can find some support and move back up towards that $3 mark. That would be really exciting on Bit Digital. Let's take a look now at RIOT. RIOT it was up 1% yesterday in the pre-market. It's up a little bit as well right now. There's actually something about RIOT I've got to bring up. Let me go into here. RIOT's SEC filings. May 20th, so 3 days ago, they did a DEFA 14A. So additional definitive proxy soliciting materials. You're not going to like this. Yeah, you're definitely not going to like this. Okay, so we scroll down. This is the one we don't like. All right, right here. This is going to be on a vote June 12th. They want to approve. They want approval to increase the number of common shares from 340 million to 680 million. They want to double the amount of shares. They want to vote to double the amount of shares available here not double them on June 12th, but to be allowed to have the option to double them. That's when the vote would happen, is June 12th. So RIOT wants to dilute by 100%, basically. So that is not great. So that's what this one is for. It's for a vote that they want to hold. Yeah, June 12th is when that vote is going to happen. And that means that they basically want to cut the value of shares in half at some point in the near future, which I'm not against dilution. I just don't like that. Okay, RIOT says that they're funded out until 2025. Great. They broke ground on the Corsica facility. Great. Before you're going to dilute me further, I want to see progress. I want to see results before giving you a blank check. Now, if RIOT is your stock and you don't like hearing that, I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. Feel free to disagree with me. For me personally, I don't like that they're already asking for more money when they've said that they're fully funded for, the next year and a half. They've broken ground on their new project that's supposed to bring in a ton of exahash. They haven't delivered on those things yet, and they're already asking for more money. Now, I know you have to front run these things to a certain extent, but I do like to see results before companies go ahead and dilute me like that. I would like to see some results first. I'm sorry. I am a results-driven investor. Give me results and show me that you deserve to have that money from me. And then, of course, take it. So let's take a look at Mara. How's Mara doing? Mara is down actually now 3.2%. The market just opened. We're coming back towards that 1980 level. I'm looking to, again, like I said, I'm looking to load up my calls again around that area. So we're getting very, very close. I'm just waiting patiently for Mara to get back down to that 1980 level to load up on some more calls on that one. It's going to be quite exciting when we get there. Let's take a look here at Clean Spark. Clean Spark also down 3% today. That's a little sad. Oh, well, let's take a look at the warrants because the warrants weren't up yesterday, but Cipher was. Let's see. Warrants, 0. They haven't moved today. They're just kind of sitting there. Haven't done anything today. Oh, let's also take a look at IREN here. This thing went on a bit of an epic run off this little inverted head and shoulders that it printed just a few days ago. It came out of that thing on May 14th. How much has it gone up in that time? Things up 74% in that time. I mean, if you're in this one, like, congratulations. It looks like we went to try to go for these highs. We didn't quite make it though. So this is a third lower high. If this turns out to be the cycle high, that part isn't fantastic. But let's take a look where the SMAs are going to hold us. Yeah, we're outside of the Bollinger Band still, so like we still need to come down to about $7 before we could see a continuation of this rally. Let me get rid of some of these though. But we are outside of this descending channel now. It's been a while since we've been outside of this thing. We started it here on December 27th, and we're end of May now, so that's been in here for quite a while, 5 months to be exact. And now we could see a bit of a downturn here. We could see it come down to the 20 again, potentially, which would be about 550, would be about the midpoint, the neckline on the inverted head and shoulders there, potentially. This is about where I would expect that inverse head and shoulders to end here, where it did at 817. Now, that doesn't mean that the rally has to be completely over, but I do potentially see, especially since they announced some dilution, that we're probably going to see a few days of downside. Probably at least come down to the top of this descending channel again here, down around 658-ish on IREN before we continue back up on that. So that's IREN there. Let's take a look now at Tesla. Tesla has been doing kind of bad. Tesla has, I mean, if you were in this yesterday, it was just a falling rock yesterday. And it looks like today it's also just a falling rock here on this 15-minute chart. This thing is just being brutalized. A lot of that has to do with the interest rates, even with those tariffs that came through that would have made Tesla much more competitive, bleh, if I could speak, competitive with Chinese EVs in the US market. Even with those things coming through, we're seeing like we saw the big surge and now we're just bleeding off of that. A lot of this is because Tesla is a very rate sensitive company right now, because in order to get a Tesla, you need a loan. In order to get a loan, you have to have a really just epic credit score these days. And even then you get denied at that 7% rate. And honestly, who can afford 7% on a $50,000 loan anyways, or more if you're buying a Cybertruck? So a lot of the suffering here is due to that, this outlook of, hey, it's being valued like a car company at the moment, or it's getting closer to being valued like a car company at the moment, mostly due to those rates. Anyways, that is Tesla. Let's take a look at a stock that is not rate sensitive, particularly. That's going to be MicroStrategy. Now, MicroStrategy has found a way to not really be rate sensitive. It's really just Bitcoin sensitive at this time, and Bitcoin tends to go up quite frequently, especially during the bull run after a halving, which is right now. And they have found a way to get exceptionally cheap debt in order to fund purchasing more and more Bitcoin. So that's been like their money glitch there, and that's been doing exceptionally well in the face of really high interest rates, which they just don't seem to care about. And that's kind of maybe the horse you want to be on right now, given that situation. Of course, it's not financial advice and not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. MicroStrategy is hanging out at $1,600 right now. It's down 2% today. It came down to the 5-day moving average here. Now, if we draw ourselves a little descending channel here, this thing's pretty tight. This is some pretty controlled selling for the last 3 days, if I do say myself. Looking very, very controlled there. Now, the thing I like about controlled selling is it turns into, controlled buying that could, get out of hand sometimes. And that's what I'm looking for here. I want to see it come down maybe a little further, maybe come down to like the tops of these wicks down here at 1520, maybe even to the top of the candle body there at 1500. But I'm looking for about another $100 drop on MicroStrategy before I'd be looking for, another epic run on this thing. Now, it does need to get out of this descending channel. It has to break this descending channel, of course, first. Now, hopefully it doesn't break to the downside. That'd be pretty scary. If it did, I would expect the 50 SMA down here at 1440 to catch it and hold it, and hopefully be support at that level for it. And then from there, rocket, or as soon as I see it break out of this descending channel, and that's what I'm watching right now for that. Let's take a look at, now I talked about NVIDIA before, but we didn't look at its chart. Look at that huge gap. NVIDIA is just the king of gaps here. Look at this thing. It gapped all the way up 9% since yesterday. Went from 950 all the way up when they opened up this morning at 1016, and it is just going up higher and higher and higher there. That is the chart we want to see. When I said it was going to come down and then start coming up, and as soon as it started coming up above this level here, above this 860 level there, that's where the switch flipped for me, and I said it's just going to go to 1,000, and look at it, it's at 1,000. It's beautiful, and it's going up for 1,100 today. It looks like that's crazy. Personally, I'm not a buyer at this level. It's a little bit spooky being all the way up there. Don't love it being that high right now, especially with RSI hanging out around 90. That's pretty scary. So yeah, I'm going to sit back and just watch this one for now. Cryptos, Solana. Let's take a look at Solana. It's been a little while since we looked at Solana. So this is the daily. You can see it also had an inverted head and shoulders. The neckline was 160. As soon as it got above 160, look at it, just launched, launched, and launched more and more and more. And I was really hoping that it was going to take out the high of 210. That would have been amazing for my portfolio. I'm currently up about 400% on my Solana, which is pretty awesome. I'm very happy about that. But this pullback actually doesn't bother me too much. So I want to see it take. So you can see it looks a lot like controlled selling. It looks a lot like controlled selling. And I think this controlled selling is probably going to come down. I don't even know if it'll go to the 20. I think I'm going to change it to the 13 again. I know I keep flip-flopping between the 20 and the 13, but they serve different purposes for me. So let's go with the 13. Let's see where the 13 is. Is that it? Did it even move? No, it did. Okay. I'm looking for it to potentially come down to the 13, which would be about 162, maybe down to this 166 level. I really don't see it going back below 160 unless we get like some kind of really just terrible news for the crypto market. I really don't see it coming back below 160. Remember how 118 down here was really the holding point for it, and it hit it like twice before it launched off of there? I think 160 is probably going to act as that level from now on. We might come back down to about 160, bounce off of it, come back to it one more time, and then from there we'll be going for new all-time highs on Solana. That's assuming it even gets that far. I think the 13 might hold it at about 163, 164. And then once it gets out of this descending channel, I am looking for it to return to all-time highs above. Well, first it's got to conquer 210, but then it's got to conquer 260, which is the all-time high. I think this downward trend we've been in since 210 is building up. It is building up to go up to that 260 level. And this does look a lot like a cup. Right here it started on April 9th, came all the way down to that inverted head and shoulders, and scooped all the way up. That is looking like a cup, and this could be the handle. And if that is the case, and we went, let's see, how high did this go? It went up 57%. So if we come off the handle, let's say the handle's there, 57%. 57% would take us exactly to the all-time high. That is the kind of patterns I'm looking for. That is exactly what I want to see on a chart. So basically the whole body of this cup here, if we were to bounce off of 165, yeah, 160, actually 160, 560, if we were to bounce off of that from our handle here and go up exactly the size of the cup, we would take us right to all-time highs. And you better believe if we get up to all-time highs, that we are going to cross over all-time highs. That is very exciting. Actually, really happy to see that. That is cool. Now, let's close things off with some Doge. I've never talked about Doge before on the channel, I don't think. Maybe I have. I don't think so, though. I can't remember. Doge is interesting. So it is a meme coin, and it's got a lot of things going on with it lately. So if you've been paying attention, usually we see Bitcoin run, then then Ethereum run, then the altcoins run, and then memes run. But this cycle, we've been seeing Bitcoin run, then memes run, and the altcoin's not really doing much other than Solana and now Ethereum, now that the ETF is in the cards now. So the fact that we have not seen a meme coin run yet since Bitcoin has come off of its lows at $57,000 back here on May 1st, the fact that we really haven't seen big run out of the meme coins, I mean, it's up, what? It's up 27%, 40%, whatever, but that's small for a meme coin. Last time we did a pump, what was it? Last time we did a pump on Dogecoin, it was 85%. So if that is what we're looking for, the bottom would have been here, which was May 1st. 85%, we would want to see it be minimum 31 cents, which is another move up of 36% from where we currently are. And it does look like it could possibly do that. And why am I saying it could possibly do that? Because of this little structure right here. If we go back to some of our other charts here, like Bitcoin, inverted head and shoulders, let's go to Solana. Inverted head and shoulders that played out. Dogecoin is building that inverted head and shoulders, and it has not finished the move yet. So it still has that upside potential. And with all these other coins running, like Bitcoin, like Solana, like Ethereum, with those running, if the pattern stays the same that it has this cycle, meme coins are next. Doge is the main meme coin. And when it runs, I could very easily see this thing running up to about 31 cents pretty quickly. And that's not 31 cents, that's 31 billion. I'm sorry, that's market cap. 31 billion, sorry, let's see where, there we are, there it is, not 15 cents. So it's not 30 cents, excuse me. it would run up to 20 cents, 20 cents, or 31 billion in market cap. I'll have to edit that around, but add some text there. Sorry about that. So this is the price. The previous one was the market cap, but as you can see, the chart looks exactly the same. It's just the difference is what the numbers say on the right here. So 20 cents, we would move from 15 cents to about 20 cents when this inverted head and shoulders plays out, and I do believe that it very likely will play out. You can see that the daily RSI is coming back down to 50. It's at 51 right now. The volume has been curling down for a little bit, meaning that we are in an area where we could see that volume reverse, especially since we are at the 50, we're slightly above the 50 on the RSI. We are in an ascending channel, which often sometimes breaks to the downside, but you can see that we're coming near the bottom of that ascending channel. And when we break up to it, guess where the top of the channel goes? The top of the channel also goes to 20 cents here in another week. So that would be a conclusion of the inverted head and shoulders. That would be that full 85% move that we're looking for. And that would also be the top of this ascending panel here. I am looking for that move specifically. That is what I'm looking for in Bitcoin or in Dogecoin, and I do think that it could come in pretty soon. Now, is there anything in our way? Let's turn on the SMAs. Give it a second. No, there's nothing in our way. And in fact, we're sitting right on support at the 50 right now. And below that, we've got, is it 13 or the 20? That's the 13. 20 is for longer trades. Okay, 20. Let's give it a second. Give it a second. Let it load. Come on. There it is. Okay, it didn't move. The 20 is down at 15.3 cents, and that would support us even further. And I do think that this is likely to find support where it is, or maybe go sideways slightly, but then we'll see it start to creep up. It does need to cross the neckline of this head and shoulders, which would be this green line right here. Once we get above 17 cents, we're very quickly going to move up to 20 cents, which it's just 3 cents, but I mean, percentage-wise, that's pretty big. So if we moved from the neckline here, if we hit the neckline in the next couple of days and we move up to 20 cents, we're looking at a 14% move. That is huge. That's what the S&P does in a year. It's more than the S&P does in a year. So to see that in a few days is exceptional, regardless of what we think as crypto traders. And that is it. Doge is looking great. It looks like it has the potential to do a move following Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana that have all already done this exact move that we're looking at right now. Dogecoin is just lagging behind, and it's looking like it wants that. It is primed to do that move and go up to 20, potentially even higher. I mean, upper end of this could be about 23 cents if it really launches off of that move, especially with the RSI only being 50. It might not stop at 20 cents. It could easily go 22, 23, maybe even higher. I mean, we've seen this thing run up to 78 cents before. Why would it stop at 23 right now, especially with the RSI being so low? And you know how meme coins go crazy, move hundreds of percent at a time. So 20 is the base case. 23 is a pretty good day. Anything higher, epic run. That's what we're looking at that. And that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a profitable day.